Jason and Bella, and we are back with you with the After the Show.
We are, and they just keep on rolling out.
They do.
You know where they're going to keep rolling out from now on? YouTube.
Yep.
We are officially going to be on YouTube. How much do you watch YouTube? Like, do you watch that more than TV, you would say?
Honestly, the only thing I really watch on YouTube is past cheer routines.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So would you say, like, do all gyms post their routines on YouTube?
Not specifically like gyms, but some people like will literally go to competitions and just record teams and then they'll post them on YouTube.
Well, that's cool.
Or the competitions themselves, like worlds or things like that, will post it on YouTube, so you can watch all of the teams' routines. So when I go on YouTube, that's normally what I watch.
I understand. So here's the question about the YouTube stuff then. So would you say that you guys, or even like coaches, would use it as kind of a tool to kind of see what other teams are doing, see how it's scoring, kind of stuff like that? They probably don't put scores on it though, huh?
No, but you can like kind of see where your competitors are at that year. Yeah, I think it's definitely a tool for people to watch and kind of see what the division's looking like this year or past years, things like that.
That's cool. Yeah. Before we get too far into it, what is going to happen on today's show is we're going to talk a little bit about what's coming up with NCAs, because that's literally just happening.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about kind of some cheer match stuff that helps with that. We are going to go into, in case you missed it, we have an interview with Jason Larkin, who is the podcaster from Let's Talk Cheer, to have some advice and some opinions on cheer, I'm sure. We're going to show you the athlete wall and who our athlete of the match was.
Yes.
And then we are going to also talk about
The prep match.
Prep match, yep, which is the one coming up. So stay tuned. Not that we go to commercial or anything. Stay with us. That's probably a better way. And we're going to talk about it all right now. Speaking of that, so what is NCAs? Are they the first majors? I mean, just kind of give me a rundown.
So NCA, honestly, I don't really know all the history, but ever since I was little, like we've always gone to NCA. I remember my first NCA, it was a big deal. I'd never been to a competition like that before, because it's like they have halls like A through, I want to say like F or H, crazy, plus an arena. And they're all running at the same time. And it's like thousands of athletes. And you like walk up into this warm-up room and it's just like all of these floors lined up. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. And
so it's an experience.
Yeah, oh yes.
Oh.
There's nothing that compares to NCA. It's crazy. But that is one of the big markers in your season, I think. I don't know, but teams that I have been on, it's like you're working towards NCA, and that's kind of like your halfway like competition season point, but like a hard one, and then Worlds or Summit or whatever the end of the season one is. But you really push hard for NCA, and that is like, I don't know, but winning NCA is one of the coolest experiences because it is so competitive, because there are so many people there.
And so it's considered like winning that is like one of the biggest, like check. You know what I mean? And I would guess, as you say, halfway through the season, so we've talked a lot about like how you gauge a team, what you do if you're like, ooh, or what you do if you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are my definitions of doing well or doing bad. So with cheer match, something I've noticed, obviously competing with cheer match allows teams to compete. Like we had Hawaii in this last match, the battle match. And they've even said, they said the first season they don't get to compete too much because, I mean, travel for them is...
It's so difficult.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Alaska, same thing. Alaska competed with us as well.
That's so cool.
And once again, travel for them, they're like, we're way up here. So I've seen a lot of teams, especially some big teams that have been there, start to utilize us also as a tool, a scoring tool.
Totally.
And if you're in multiple matches, you can see how you're gauging before you go. Is that valuable, would you say?
Absolutely. I think something kind of going off even East versus West Coast match, you don't really compete against teams not in like your region very often, right? And so NCAA is like the first time that you would really compete against those teams on opposite coasts from you. So being able to use cheer match as a tool with like scoring sheets to see how you are comparing against other teams without having to like fly to a different city to compete, right?
Yeah.
And to constantly get that feedback with your like updated routine, because you know every single practice you make a little tweak.
Oh really?
You know, yeah. At least my team always has. You know, it's always evolving and just a little bit more and more, and then you'll go to one competition, you'll get feedback, then you'll change more. But being able to do that more frequently and consistently, I think would be so helpful, because you will kind of have an understanding at where you would line up at NCAA.
Right.
Because sometimes you have no idea and you just go in, you're like, hope you do your best.
Here we go.
Yeah. So y'all, we are going to take a look at the battle match opening. Jason tells me that this is something very special. I haven't seen it yet.
It's a little different.
So,
We darkened the entire studio, so it wasn't the lights, it wasn't anything. We only had this. I have to reconnect. Oh, there it
Here
is.
comes his phone.
I always have the phone. We had this logo up, and it was just all very moody, but it was really to say thank you to the teams.
Yeah.
And to show you guys, here is our host, Crystal, with the opening of the battle match.
Welcome to the battle match. Tonight, this match is meant to be a true celebration of competition in a very fun way, by recognizing what these gyms, teams, and athletes bring to the mat. That is their hard work, passion for the sport, and dedication to their team, which all comes out in the amazing routines we see every single match. And for that, we want to say thank you to all you athletes for bringing your best to compete with us here at Cheer Match. That is what the battle match is all about. So let's start off this show a little differently by acknowledging all the gyms battling it out for today's top spots. We have the Central Jersey All-Stars, Cheernasium All-Stars, Wicked Elite, Rams All-Stars, Iowa Elite, Cheer Central Suns, Hawaii All-Stars, Legacy Athletics, Alaska Athletics, Ice All-Stars Naperville, Tri-State Athletics, and Revolution Athletics. Good luck to all these gyms, and let the battles begin.
That was so amazing. That was like so cool. I loved that.
It's a little different, and you know, it's one of those things, being the battle, we wanted to really acknowledge every single gym that came into it, because, you know, they're all going to leave it all on the mat, as they say.
I mean, he even got me a special shirt.
Watch out. Now, you guys don't know, the funny thing is, when I gave her the shirt, I'm like, she's like, okay, you want me to put this on? I'm like, yes, please. She didn't know the logo reference. Now, it says a real American cheerleader and cheer in the logo. Now, if you don't know the reference, it's okay, but it's from G.I. Joe, the cartoon series that I used to watch. Yes, I'm dating myself.
So a long time ago. Long time
when they
ago.
actually hand drew stuff and just didn't do it on the computer. Yeah, that's exactly right. But I love the shirt. We actually had our host dress up. So I had Nate in this full Top Gun flight suit.
Oh, perfect.
And he actually said a quote from the movie Top Gun.
Because of this match, I feel the need for speed.
Some of you guys may have seen it. Tiffany dressed up, same thing, flight suit. And then Crystal and Mia were just very olive.
Okay.
There wasn't much military there,
They were
just very
just
olive. They're very
calm.
themey with the look, but very fashion forward.
Obviously.
Obviously, you have to
Yes.
be. And
Yes.
I think we're just coming back from seeing what they wore, so you see. That's fine.
Yes.
2 went all out, and 2 went fashion forward. I love it. I love it. Speaking of all out, we had, just in case you missed it, we had an interview. Now, have you heard of this gentleman before, a gentleman named Jason Larkin?
I've never heard of him.
Okay.
So this is news to me.
So to give a plug
Okay.
to you guys and to you, he actually runs a full podcast all about cheerleading. It's called
That's
Let's Talk
awesome.
Cheer. And he is actually a former cheerleader. He is a current coach, and he is I don't think it's I think it's a cheer director
Okay.
at a gym called American Cheer out in California. They've competed with us.
Yeah.
But he came on just as the podcaster, so to speak.
Yeah.
And said some cool stuff. So if you hadn't seen it, check it out.
Now, we are joined today by Jason Larkins, who is the cheer director for American Cheer based out of Bakersfield, California, and also the host of the podcast, Let's Talk Cheer. Welcome, Jason. Welcome to Cheer Match.
Mia, thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here. Glad that this has come full circle. We had you guys on the podcast not too long ago, and glad that I get to be on the broadcast.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we're excited to have you, and we are in the middle of our battle match this week. So let's jump right in. I got a question for you. Can you tell us a little bit what it's like to be in competition? What does that feel like? And more specifically, what does that feel like as a coach or a director to watch your team take the mat in competition?
Mia, I am so glad that you asked, because I feel like as coaches, we always get overlooked when we talk about the nerves of of the competition. Like everyone's so, the kids are so nervous, and obviously the parents are nervous for their kids. But as coaches, we have 30 kids out there. We're nervous for all of them. So, the kids are backstage, and, my palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. And, it's the most nerve-wracking thing, because I always feel like we fully prepared our athletes for the competition. But as you know how it is, the kids go out there on stage and you never know what they're going to do. So I'm a nervous wreck. I try to stay composed for the athletes, but I'm a nervous wreck when they're out there on stage.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes total sense. Well, let's take it up another notch and up the ante a little bit. What about those competitions when maybe you're going to be going up against, I don't know, another team that's similarly ranked? Might I even say a rival team? What's your guys' strategy there? Do you stay tuned in for those matches, or what do you guys do? What's your strategy?
So real quick, shout out to all of my rivals, right? Because I really feel that is what pushes the competition to really, so that all of us can really be at our best. So first, I'll take the second part of your question. We typically won't watch another team compete unless they've already competed after, if we've already gone on competed. So we've competed and they're going to go on after us. Maybe we might stay and watch them. But if they go on before us, I definitely don't want to watch. I want our athletes to be, dialed in and focused on their routine, because win or lose or hit or drop whatever the other team does, that has no impact on what we do out there on the stage. Like, we still need to go out there and put our best routine forward, whether they go out there and hit or drop, wherever the case may be. So I want our athletes to be dialed in and focused. But as far as, competitions are concerned, I want you to think back to your days in high school or college and some of your study habits. Mia, were you more likely to study the night before an exam or like a month out from an exam?
Okay, yeah. I mean, if we're being honest, I need to feel that pressure that the test is coming. So probably cramming the night
exactly.
before.
And that's all of us, right? It's a month out. It's like, oh, I can chill. I can, go hang out with my friends tonight. We can go play video games, whatever the case may be. But, the week of the test, dare I say the night before the test, we're cramming hard. We got our flashcards. We're doing study groups. We got our study guide, that whole nine. And it's the same thing. We do head-to-head competition. We have head-to-head competition. That the gym down the street is working just as hard as you to have a great routine out there. And when you don't have anyone in your division, it's kind of like, well, we're going to work hard, but we're going to work, that hard. So I really feel I love head-to-head competition, because I know that keeps us sharp and ready to go.
It just brings out the competition in all of us, I guess. Oh, we just want to thank you so much, Jason, for being with us today. It was so fun to get your insight. And can you tell me and all of our viewers again where we can find you?
Hey, you can listen to the Let's Talk Cheer podcast. You can find that on Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Let's Talk Cheer. Yeah, it's the best one out there on the market.
Awesome. Well, we will definitely tune into that. Thank you so much, Jason. And let's get back to the action, back to the mat.
So something new that we've been doing this season is the athlete wall, and it's so cool, especially just to specialize in specific athletes and recognize the hard work and things that they love about cheerleading. So could you tell us a little bit more about what's on the athlete wall?
I can actually show you.
Okay.
we go right here. There we go. This was our athlete wall from the battle match, and obviously put in by Gracie Sandoval. That's how they put it up there. We have cheerleaders, athletes that will send us, of course, a picture or a video that defines them as an athlete, and then they tell us what cheer means to them and what being an athlete in cheer means to them.
Totally. I think what's so cool is, what impacted cheer in my life is something completely different than another athlete in cheerleading, but cheerleading has been so positive, and the impact and the parts that you'll take away for the rest of your life are just so I don't even know. Every single memory I've had since I was little has been cheer. And even if you started with only 2 years left that you could cheer, you definitely take away things. But being able to kind of highlight those is so cool.
I'm going to put you on the spot. You ready?
Okay, I'm
What
ready.
would you say is your biggest takeaway so far from cheer? It could be anything.
Well, this one, probably the people that I've met in cheer, because my whole family, literally my family is in cheer, but theoretically, not even theoretically, but just my family, my friends and things like that, everyone that I've been super close to has been from cheer. Like my best friend I met when we were little, but we met because our moms were in cheerleading, you know, and all of the friends I made. And there's a kind of bond where it's not like you have an off and on season, you know, like other sports, like you're on season.
Yeah, we talked about
all
it
the
last time. It's just like year round.
So when you're with these people all the time, and some of the, like my closest friends, I've been on teams with them for like 8 or 9 years at this point, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So being with them all the time, that creates bonds that you'll never lose.
And you guys have just grown together. You know, everybody's
Just
experienced
people.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
really has.
so that's probably one of my favorite things that have come out of cheer.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So with that going in, we are going to now roll into, because this is the first time that this show is actually coming before the match itself. Which match, you might ask? Did it work?
It
it's
took
a
me
big.
a hot second to read it.
It's so big.
It's like, wow.
I asked them to send me a logo, and that's what I got. And it's a really cool logo. Don't let me get, but it's really
Yes.
big.
You know what? Go big or go home.
So, speaking of prep match, you went through prep, obviously.
I did.
What can an athlete expect, or what should an athlete expect to do in prep? Like, what is prep for?
So I kind of started with prep. So when I started cheer, I started with prep. And it's kind of just your introduction to cheer, you know? Like you have said, cheer is a completely different world.
Yeah.
Like nothing really compares. So it's kind of like an introduction, like dip your feet in the water a little bit.
I like that analogy a lot.
Yes.
Just put your toe in.
Yes, you get to do the competitions and you have practices and you have your team and everything, but it's not quite as crazy and chaotic as cheerleading. And so it's kind of just like your icebreaker to try to get into the cheer industry.
Have you ever seen, because once again, to me, we did a prep match last year with cheer match, and I was like, oh, this is what you do. But I was kind of informed that there aren't a lot of these. There aren't a lot of only prep, all match.
I don't even know if I've ever been to an only prep competition.
So I'm really looking forward to this. And actually, we are going to be rolling into this in just a few minutes.
Yes. So stay tuned.
We can actually say it now, because we're going to leave here. It'll go into like a little countdown with some really elegant music. I know, it's like dun 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 dun, and then it goes into the match, and then it'll be the do 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 do. That's honestly what it sounds like. It's as soon as you hear that music, you know it's cheer match. Though
You do.
I
you
do
do.
like it that way.
Yes, it's very iconic.
I like that word. I'll take that. Much like us.
Maybe you.
Yeah.
Because you're an artifact now.
That's true. I have to dust myself off just to come on the show. Well, for Jason and
Bella.
we wish you guys a wonderful prep match. I don't know if you can hear the rehearsing, or you don't call it rehearsing, do you?
No, just practicing.
Practice.
Running routines.
Running routines that are happening in the next building over. Rehearsing would be my Hollywood side.
Yeah.
Rehearsals, everybody, rehearsals. All right, for us,
my gosh.
we'll see you guys later. Enjoy the prep match.
Bye. Figure out how to posture myself. It's okay.
Hey, Jason.
All right, moving into level 4, Nate. Not last week. On our last match. Because was it last week? It was not last week.